Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I want to share with you guys some information on how to be good on Lucio. So, Lucio is a support character. He supports his team, helps keep them alive, and clean up on kills. Lucio is a character with huge potential in every matchup, every comp. Full utilization of all his abilities to the maximum is required to make use of him. Lucio has a 100% pick rate in Overwatch League and tournaments, and I will show you why and how to be the most effective. I've been playing Overwatch since Overwatch 2 came out, so 6 months, and in this time I've mostly played Lucio, just played Lucio. So I have 200 hours on him. I have a lot to share to the community about him. First, let's talk about his gun. His primary fire, left click. His primary fire is a burst of 4 green projectiles which do 20 damage on each hit. Headshot doubles the damage to 40. You have 5 rounds of burst, so 20 ammo in total. If you manage to hit all 4 headshots, then you can deal 160 damage. It also has no fall-off damage, so you can easily poke enemies at range. Landing headshots is not easy at first, trust me. Overwatch is the first FPS game I'm so dedicated to, so my aim is not very good. But landing headshots needs time, effort to get better. If you're wondering about which crosshair to use, I'll show mine right now. So as for me, I use a circular crosshair with a dot in between. If you want, you can pause the video and copy my settings. You should be easily able to distinguish between body shots and headshots as they have different sounds to them. So if you hit a body shot, the sound will be like this. And if you hit a headshot, you'll have a coin-like sound like this.
Staccato!
So you should be hearing more coin noises to understand that your aim is improving. Sounds like these. Hop into practice range, custom games, and work on your aim. It is essential to get better at aiming, to get better at most heroes in Overwatch. Then, he has a secondary ability on his right click called the Boop, which has immense potential. What it does is it pushes away any enemy in front of you and deals 25 damage to them. It can affect multiple targets and is affected by the enemy's movement. So if the enemy is moving towards you, then it pushes them back a bit less, and if the enemy is moving away from you, it pushes them back a lot further. The easiest enemy to boop with your secondary fire is Lucio because he has huge movement, and also your boop does not need that much precise aiming, so it can hit any enemies right in front of you. So you do not need to be that considerate with aiming when you're using your boop. Your boop has a cooldown of 4 seconds, so if you need to use it wisely. A perfectly timed boop can get you many environmental kills, cancel a mercy res, push opponents to a deadly ally ultimate, displace an enemy with bad position, making it easier for your team to kill, and even stop an opponent from reaching an objective within time. Another minor but very important source of damage is his melee. I've bound it to F on my keyboard, but you all can bind it to any key you find it easy to reach. A melee attack does 30 damage and is crucial when you're trying to land a kill. Most of my final blows are melee attacks. With Lucio, you want to combo your attack with primary fire first, then boop, then melee. If landed perfectly, you can deal a damage of 215, almost always killing any target with 200 HP. Use your reload button thoughtfully. Reload your gun outside a battle. Do not reload in the middle of a fight, and if you are in need of reloading, take cover. Remember not to melee or boop during the reload animation. The next ability has unlimited cooldown. Your crossway is bound to shift, and you can use it as much as you want. It changes your music track. Yes, Lucio is a hero which plays loud music and annoys people. What it also does is that with his healing song, he heals all the people within a 12-meter radius aura in all directions, and with his speed song, he speeds up all people in the same aura. His speed boost provides the most utility by moving around teammates quickly. It also doesn't heal people behind barriers. You need line of sight to heal on Lucio. If a teammate breaks line of sight, he will stop healing after about a second. To heal better, he has another ability called Amp It Up, bound to the E button. Pressing it will increase the effectiveness of your current song for 3 seconds and then go into a cooldown for 12 seconds. This should be generally used with heal song for the most part. You should only amp up on speed when coming out of the spawn room. The 12-second cooldown is long, so do not use it all the time. Use it sparingly when your teammates are critical. If you do not amp heal at the right time, your teammates might die. Something I used to do wrong when I first started playing Overwatch was that I used to amp it up all the time, be it on speed or be it on heal. I used to amp it up all the time. Then when my teammates were critical, I could not heal them up because my amp it up was on cooldown. So I fixed it by realizing that I did not need to amp it up all the time. Another situation when you should prefer amping speed is when your enemy is very aggressive and dealing tons of damage. Then you should focus on speed boosting to help your teammate get behind cover. For example, a Diva Bomb, Orisa's Terra Surge, Hanzo's Dragon, Bastion's Turret Form, Mei's Freeze, Cassidy's High Noon, Soldier's Visor. You know that you cannot out-heal their damage, so it's better to escort your team to safety behind cover and save their life, instead of trying to heal them up. When to use which song is tactical awareness for a Lucio player. You will get a hang of it after analyzing the situations. Healing your teammates grant you the most ultimate charge. Once you get 100 ult charge, you can use your defensive ultimate by pressing Q, the sound barrier. It gives your teammates within a 30-meter radius in your line of sight 750 temporary health points, which decays and vanishes after 5 seconds. It is life-saving when used at the right time. It's a very valuable ult which can prevent team kills as it counters almost every scary ult in the game. The ultimate has a grace period of about a second when you can jump to look at your teammate to give him the temporary HP if he was not in your line of sight. You can also use your sound barrier to go aggressive as it forces your teammates to go aggressive and help capture a checkpoint or an objective. While performing the beat, you perform a small bunny hop, during which you're very vulnerable as people can see that you're performing your huge ultimate. So be very vigilant and do not let your opponents kill you. Otherwise, your teammates will not receive the temporary HP. Then we have two important passives for Lucio. The first is a passive heal. Lucio can heal himself up even when he's on speed song. Every support has a passive heal. So does Lucio. If he does not take damage for some seconds, his health will slowly increase automatically. Using it with heal boost will increase his regeneration even more. Then comes the most fun passive in the whole game, wall riding. Only Lucios can wall ride. You can go to a wall and hold your jump key to stick to a wall. This also increases your speed. Go to Options, Hero, Lucio, and change Allow Backwards Wall Ride to On. This will allow you to wall run backwards. If you have the back key or S pressed, many people still do not know that this is an option, so I highly recommend going and changing your settings. I have also added a secondary jump key to scroll down as it helps a lot in Lucio movement. With Lucio, you want to be fast as hell, unpredictable, back to the fight in seconds after being killed. You gain speed if you combo wall ride after wall ride. Flicking the jump key if you have jump on scroll down will help you get a lot of speed. It takes some time to get habituated, but flicking scroll down in a rhythm will grant you immense burst of speed and momentum. Don't bash into structures as it will stop your flow. Another options you have are hold to crossfade, which I don't use, but it's your choice. And you have auto jump on release, which I keep it on. If you don't want to jump after a wall ride, instead of turning that setting off, you can just press crouch. You can fall off the wall without jumping if you press Ctrl or crouch. There are some advanced techs for which you need auto jump off, like late skimming and one tick, which are mostly required in game modes like Lucio Surf and Racing. So you do not need to bother with those if you want to just play the normal modes. Now let's talk about the stuff Lucio is bad at. Number 1, healing. Lucio is not a good healing character. His healing is low and you can be flamed by your teammates for not being able to heal much. Number 2, Moira. Dealing with Moiras can be tough because Moira has auto aim and he can keep sucking you more than you can heal yourself. So you can find yourself dying to Moiras. A tip to fighting with Moira is that she can only heal herself with her healing orb. So keep that in notice and bait her away from her healing orb so that she does not continuously heal herself. That's it. Then let's talk about stuff he's good at. Number 1, 1v1s. Lucio is the best character at 1v1. He has unlimited self-heal, unlimited speed, high evasion, small hitbox. To 1v1 a player effectively with Lucio, try jumping over their heads. It confuses them a lot. Use speed song mostly and be wall riding. Use heal boost only when you get low. Number 2, survivability. Lucio is a dive hero. With Lucio, you have the option to run away or die trying to kill. If you are conservative with your positioning, not charging in without your team, you can escape dying easily. And taking cover is a very important aspect of Overwatch. Always play with cover. Take high ground, wall run high on walls, wall run towards cover, and keep poking at your opponent. Remember the health pack locations on the map and pick them up when needed, or ask your teammates to pick them up when needed. Number 3, scouting. Since Lucio can wall ride and get to any point in the game, it makes him an excellent scout. If you get to high ground, you can give your team information about which heroes your opponent has picked, mark their location using middle click. Use middle click a lot. It helps your team prioritize killing a target. It's easier to kill a person when everyone on your team is on them instead of trying to kill them alone. Also, mark flanking players to help keep them aware. Lucio can deal a lot of damage just by poking. Keep spamming your primary fire at choke points, as your primary fire has no fallout damage. Choke points are the points where there is high probability of opponents rushing in. Lucio excels at short range. At short range, can not only use primary fire, but also finish a kill with boop and melee. Squishies. Players around 200 health are huge targets for Lucio. He can hunt down isolated targets easily and kill them alone. If your enemy doesn't receive healing or support, With tanks, you rather stay away and poke them from range until they're low. The easiest player to kill with Lucio is Widowmaker, as she has low mobility. She cannot jump while scoped. With high movement, Lucio can avoid shots from her, and landing headshots on stationary enemies are easy. Just get to the high ground by wall riding. Other easy targets are Cassidy, Soldier, Zenyatta, Sojourn, Ashe, Baptiste, Reaper, and Tracer. You almost always want to prioritize killing them to make your teammates' life easier. Flying targets like Pharah, Mercy, and Echo can be tough to kill as Lucio shoots projectiles. You need to learn how to bait characters like Soldier and Cassidy so that they misfire their bombs. Having unpredictable movement by switching up songs and get close up to them, then immediately move back up so that they miss. Then, when you know their ability is on cooldown, get up to their face and punch them, shoot them, and eat them up. The best player to play with on your team is Reinhardt. You can speed him up to help chase players and poke behind his shield to avoid damage. Reaper, Diva, Winston, Zenyatta, Symmetra, and Genji are also fun to play with on your team, as hunting down targets together becomes easier. Get more creative with boops. You will rarely get environmental kills with Lucio as tanks have low mobility. Japanese guys can just climb back up, and many more. But when you do, it's the best thing ever. So try to throw enemies off from the high ground, boop enemies into ultimates, peel off your teammates. If you see someone like a Reaper flanking and trying to kill your other teammates, push and punch them away. Playstyles. Lucio has many playstyles depending on the flow of the game. Every game is different from one another, so don't expect to be doing the same thing each game. And do not be influenced by the score table. The score table represents few stats and does not speak about the true performance of a player. Some matches you might heal less, damage less, but still be impactful. And in some matches you might damage a ton, heal a ton, but still lose and be ineffective. So do not focus on that. Do what is necessary. If your team is low, they're constantly dying, keep them up by healing. If your team has an excellent healer who heals your team up nicely, don't waste your tools by healing. Speed them up and secure kills quickly. Be careful. Lucio can 1v1, but Lucio cannot 1v5 or even 1v2. Overwatch is a different game from all other shooters. Here, team coordination matters a lot. Get on comms, ask your team to help you out. Don't get into the enemy backline alone and die alone. Ask your team to bait the enemies out, help you with boops, boop people off the cliff with your team's help. Play the supportive role you're meant to play as Lucio. The best game mode I would suggest is open queue. People don't rely on heals much and know how to take care of themselves better. Control maps are also easy to play on with Lucio, as players are more clustered in one area and your aura becomes more effective.